So our main learning target for today is to create a new bulb in PlayPosit and sync it into Canvas, either embedded in the page or in a new tab with which we can actually have grade pass back into Canvas if we have a formative assessment attached. So to begin, I'm going to go to assignments, and you'll want to follow along with this. And we're going to name our I click new assignment, obviously, but then we're going to name our assignment, and I'm just going to say PlayPosit test, whatever. So you don't have to put anything in this field. We're really just looking at the submission type, and we're going to choose external tool. Normally it defaults to online or on paper, but we click external tool. Here we then find our external tool. So we scroll down to where it says PlayPosit, click it, and then press select. And then here's the one caveat. If you want students to essentially just watch a video that you've trimmed or that you have reflective pauses built in, and you're not really worried about grades or quiz questions being passed back into your gradebook, then you don't have to check this box. You can just embed the PlayPosit directly in a window. If you do want that functionality where you set up multiple choice questions that are graded automatically and you want those grades passed back directly into Canvas and therefore into PowerSchool, then you'll need to check load this tool in a new tab. So it's based on what your reason for having that bulb is for that time period. So I'm just going to leave this unchecked so it'll be in our window. I save and publish. And then what you'll see is that it opens up to a Get Started window. Now, if you had it open in a new tab, you'll see a Load in a new tab. You'll click that button, and then you'll get this same window. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, mine defaults to the new interface. If you do not see this interface, right when you click on Get Started, you'll see a little box up here asking you if you want to look at the new interface, and you want to click Yes, because in the next month or so, they're going to do away with the old interface. From here, I'd like you to refer to the handout and take some time to navigate. You can do a lot of different things on this navigation page. It looks a lot like Google Drive, but instead of walking you through all of those different pieces, you can kind of experiment with what's available to you. One thing you'll notice is because I opened this PlayPosit in my Sandbox course, whatever course you opened with, you'll now have that course listed in your offerings. So you won't see your other courses until you actually launch a PlayPosit through that course. And it'll be the same with the students. The only students that you'll see from your course will be students who have actually logged in and opened up the new tab in PlayPosit. Otherwise, you won't see any of your students. It basically doesn't read them until it syncs with Canvas. So experiment, check out some of the different things, and then you can press play again when you're ready. So now we're going to add a new bulb to this Canvas assignment. Notice at the top it says no bulb is assigned to this course, and then the assignment name. We create the bulb, or we just choose the bulb, and then this is where we would click Set Bulb Link. So once we've created a new bulb, that's what we'll do. We'll click Set Bulb Link, and then that bulb will be embedded or integrated with that Canvas assignment. So we click New Bulb, and this is where we need our URL. Now you can also upload MP4s. I'm not sure the limits of the size, but I'm pretty sure that it's fairly large. So that's an option if you don't want to go through the process of uploading to YouTube. So I have a URL right here. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it right here and add this video. Now, depending on the size of the video, especially if you're uploading an MP4, it could take a little bit of time. It begins playing automatically. Sometimes you just have to press the pause button. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure I name my bulb. So I just come up here and I click where it says New Bulb. And I can give it a name. So this is Flex Day Training. And then you can also add a learning objective, which is nice. You have some different bulb settings, and this will be dependent on what you want to do with that bulb. For example, you can allow viewers to rewind during questions. Now, this would be beneficial if you're not really worried about the score. If this is just if you're just wanting to have some type of performative assessment where you're not even bringing in any type of scoring, you can allow them to rewind. But normally you don't want to allow them to rewind because you want to gauge their response based on the video section that they were watching. So I'm just going to go ahead and close, and it should have changed my title and my learning objective. The layout is pretty simple. Really, you're going to be working within this little waffle icon, and this is where you can delete the video, trim the video, or add questions. So the first thing I want to show you is trimming the video. And this is a really powerful piece of PlayPosit. A lot of times you may find a YouTube video that could be 30 minutes long, and you only want to use certain chunks of that video. With PlayPosit, you can edit the chunks that you want to include, and it won't have the students watch the other chunks. So that's a pretty big benefit to this. So I'm going to show you that first. So I'm going to go up to trim video. Now the first thing you do is you can trim the front or the back of the video. So I can slide my little scroller wheel so that it's going to end at 1 minute and 30 seconds. And when I click edit exit crop mode, then you can see the rest of that video is grayed out. Now let's say I want to trim it again, but I want to trim out a section in the middle. I'm going to add internal crop section. And then I have a new little roller bar. So it's kind of hard to see. I've got two new positions. So I can slide over and I can, that's right here, sorry. See, that's the tricky part. These are the ends, these are the middles. So I can chunk out a middle section of that video. Let's say right at 33 seconds, I know that the person in the video swears or something. And then they go on a tirade and they're swearing until 1 minute and 5 seconds. I want to trim that section of the video out, so that's how you do it. From there, you exit crop mode, and you'll see all of those grayed out sections are trimmed out. If I want to just do that, I can go up to my 3 little vertically aligned dots, and I can finish my video. Or I can choose to do different things with the add question feature. So I'm going to click on this to show you some different things you can do. There are all kinds of different questions you can add. Multiple choice and check all and fill in the blank. Those all are auto-graded. You can go in and manipulate them, especially for fill in the blank. You can go in and check if someone missed something and you think it's pretty close, you can give them credit. But these things are based on point values that you assign, and then also the point value of the assignment. We'll get into that a little bit later if you want to go into some advanced features. But the way that looks is I'm going to put my cursor wherever I want that question to go, and I just simply click on the question example. So I want a multiple choice here. I have the question right here. Here's my question. You can also record yourself asking the question. For math teachers, they can do special characters, they can insert equations, all different kinds of things. Or you can upload an image. Whatever you want to do, you have a lot of different options here. And then you go in and add the answer choices. So I have 4 answer choices. That one's the correct one, and I press save. So you'll see that right there where I had my cursor, that's actually 3 seconds, that's where it is. Now if I want that differently, I can slide that over, and that's where my question will be. One thing that I like about PlayPosit, even if I'm not asking questions or anything, I can set up reflective pauses, and you'll notice in the video that you're watching, we had a reflective pause. So the way what that looks like is I click add question, and I just click reflective pause, and you can have a question here. So think about what the speaker is actually saying in this section of the clip. Turn to your neighbor and talk about it. Maybe it's a thing where you're having students watch PlayPosit videos together, and they start it together, or they just all look at one screen, 3 people, and they watch it together. So I click that, and then I have that reflective pause. So what it'll do is it stops the video right there, automatic, or it forces the stop. Now they could press play immediately and keep going, which is up to them, but it does build in that reflection time, that pause where you're asking them to do something. So the powerful thing about that is, in your directions for a video, if you wanted them to watch a 5-minute YouTube video, you could ask them to think about certain sections of the video, but more than likely they're going to watch the video all the way through and not even give those a second look or a second thinking. Especially on a flex day, an e-learning day, or when you're doing a rotation method in your class and you want them to think about the last 10 seconds of the video and maybe even go back and rewatch it. You build that in automatically, and then it's fresh in their minds and they have that time to think. So there are other different types of questions you can add. One of the major things that is not graded is the free response. But you can have an entire essay question that you have them answer, or just whatever free response. I'll show you how to go back in and grade that, and then it will pass back to Canvas. So take some time and play around. See what you can do. See what you like. Another feature a lot of teachers would like to do is to blend multiple videos together without having to use some type of video editing software. So let's say I only want to use 30 seconds of a certain video, but then I want another section of a different video to play, and I want to have that all in one video. So once I've finished editing all the different things in the first video, I can go up to the left-hand corner of my screen and click Add Video. This is where I would have a second video URL or MP4 ready to go. I'm going to add that. Now, what you'll notice is that I basically get a brand new PlayPosit video editing section. I can go back and forth then between these two PlayPosits that are built. You'll notice that everything stays the same. So it's like I'm creating a new bulb, which you are because you're editing this video. But it will blend together as one video, and you can see it still has the same title. It just says 2 of 2. So in here I could go in, I could add a question or delete that question if I want. Or I could go in and trim this video because I really only wanted the first 10 seconds of this video. So I exit crop mode and I'm good to go. I'll just double check. Yes, this one's good. The second one is good. I think I'm good to go. When I'm all finished, I can preview what that will look like by pressing the preview button. Now, even if you built the reflective pauses and all of those different things, it will show what those will look like for the students. Answers won't be saved, but you will see all the different things. You can see as I hover over here, I can see where those stops will be. So this is my first reflective pause. The student would press continue, and they would keep going. And then there's a multiple choice question, and if they answer correctly, it will say, yes, you're correct. Or you can set it so that they don't know whether they're correct or not until the very end. That's up to you. And then it will keep going, and let's keep going. And then it's going to switch over to the new bulb. Notice it was kind of it kind of jumps, but it does switch over to that second video that I put into the bulb. So when I'm all done with that, just go up here and I close that preview, and then I can finalize it. So I click my 3 little buttons, I click finish, and now my bulb is listed in my dashboard at the top. From here, what I need to do is I need to make sure I assign it to this assignment. So I'm going to click my 3 dots, set bulb link, and then I need to add the learner experience. More than likely, you're going to click self-paced. A live broadcast means you are beginning it at your desk and it's pushed out to all the students so they watch it at the same time, which could be beneficial if you like. And then there's also a learner-made functionality, which we'll get to with some advanced features. Excuse me. So I set link. Now I see that this Flex Day training bulb is assigned to the Sandbox course, and I can close out of it. So if I refresh, you'll now see that I have a monitor button. Because basically, since this is already embedded in this assignment, as students go through, they will answer questions and then I can go in and see their progress. So now I want to show you how an assignment with quiz questions works when you want to bring the grades over to Canvas. I'm going to do one quiz question. I'm going to make it a free response. And I want to share with you how that functionality works. So the first thing that you need to do after you've named the assignment is you need to set a point value for that assignment. And this is the point value that will be sent over to PowerSchool. Now real quick, I'm going to click on this tab and show you the breakdown of question types and the point values that go within PlayPosit. So a multiple choice question is worth 1 point in PlayPosit. So if you had 2 multiple choice questions in PlayPosit and you had the point value of your assignment set at 10, then each question would be worth 5 points. The same for free response. If you have 1 free response question in your PlayPosit and your assignment is worth 10 points, then you can give up to 3 full points, which would be 10 points for the response, or break it down in chunks. So you can give a 3, a 2, a 1, or a 0. If I gave a free response a value of 1 within PlayPosit and my assignment was worth 10, then they would get a 3.333333 whatever on for that quiz. So just to show you how that works, so here's my point value. I'm going to find my PlayPosit. I'm going to select, and then because I want the grade passed back, I have to make sure I click Load in New Tab. Save and publish. This is all review. I'm going to open in a new window so that I can set my bulb. So I'll click Get Started. Here's my bulb that I want to set. I can either click here or my 3 buttons and set bulb link. The learner experience is self-paced and set link. So now, when my student goes in and works on that question, I will assign them a value. And I'll show that right now. All right, so now I've gone in as a student and I've responded to the free response question. So as a teacher, when I'm ready to, I'm going to open that assignment back up. I will launch in the new window. And then I'm going to monitor that assignment. So any of the students that had worked on the assignment will be populated here. Now for free response questions, you're not going to see a score obviously because you're the one that has to score it, but you will see this little edit symbol. So here I can click on the edit symbol. The response is below. I can read the response and then I can assign a point value to that response. So if I assign a point value of 2, you can see they get a 67%. And then what I can do is when I'm all finished with my grading, I can go and export the grades. So it will say that it started, click report to see status, that's fine. Since it's 1 question, I'm going to guess that it already was successful. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and refresh my Canvas page. And I'm going to go to grades. From here you'll see that my free response test is here. And it did indeed export that grade for the response question. Now again, because the assignment was worth 10 and I gave him a 2 for the response question, it calculated the value to be worth 3.33 per question. It's the same for multiple choice questions or whatever. So really what you just need to think about is if you have something that's worth 10, you want an assignment worth 10, you have 5 multiple choice questions, and you have 2 free response questions, right? you just have to sort of think about the value for each question in terms of how that will work into that number 10. And I want to share with you one other really cool PlayPosit feature that was actually just released in the last month or two. PlayPosit now has a Chrome extension. I have the URL here. If you just do a quick Google search for PlayPosit Chrome extension, you'll get this page and you can add it to Chrome. You need to be logged into PlayPosit first, so I would just launch one of your PlayPosit assignments from Canvas and have it open in a tab, and then you can add to Chrome. Now here's how it works. Any website that has video available, a YouTube video or even Vimeo, will now have this little PlayPosit dachshund in the left-hand corner if it's available to add. I tested this even with Discovery Education videos and it worked. So basically, when you add bulbs, you only have a few options of video. You have YouTube, you have MP4s, and then you have some weird sites that I don't even know about. But with the Chrome extension, we can now bypass the problem of Vimeo being blocked because we can simply add them to PlayPosit. So here's how it works. I find a video that I really like. This is on the inverse square law and how it affects cinematography with lighting. And I go up to this dachshund and I click Add at Interactivity. So it's going to open in a new tab. As long as I'm logged in, it'll show that I'm linked. And here it is. So what I do is I just click the upload button. And then I actually have a message right here where I can immediately start designing this if you'd like. If you don't want to and you just want to come back to it later, it will be in your dashboard. But I can click this and I can start designing the bulb. So again, all of the same features. I can trim the video. If I only want 5 seconds, I can finalize that video. I'm going to close and you can see that that's one of my bulbs that are now available. So this is a really cool feature that's going to set it apart from other services now that you can pull video from just about anywhere you find it. This also bypasses the filter. You know that Vimeo is blocked, but if you add that Vimeo video to PlayPosit, it's going to be read as a PlayPosit bulb and not as a Vimeo video. It'll just essentially be embedded into your PlayPosit bulb.